Okay, so I'm gonna just quickly show you how to make this first project that we have, this double wrap bracelet. I've included instructions in your kit, and that's gonna be kind of the easiest way to see exactly how to make this, but I just wanted to explain a couple of things so it makes a little bit more sense. So first you wanna just make sure you have everything. You should have a clasp, which is this little lobster claw. And then for the other end, we use this little chain link that makes your bracelet adjustable. And then this will be hard to see on here, but these are these little 2-cylinder beads that are called crimp tubes. And you've got your string, which I cut extra for you guys so that you have a little bit of wiggle room on here. And then if you purchased a charm, you should have your charm in there. This is a little evil eye. And then the 3 different colors of beads, and then a little baggie of these accent gold-filled beads. Those are just kind of to go randomly through your design. I think it adds a nice little element to the piece. All right, so I just wanted to show you basically how to do the ends, because everything else is just wiring, and then tell you how to measure it so that it fits your wrist. So again, this will be easier to look at the sheet that I've included, but you're gonna take your wire and then grab your crimp tube, those little cylinder beads. These are the things you wanna make sure you don't drop. One of the things I like to do is have little dishes. So I have these little tiny dishes that we have a bunch of here, but you could use a little cup from your kitchen or anything like that. But you'll take your wire and then take your crimp tube, and you're gonna feed it through about 1 inch through, and then hold on to it with your 2 fingers here. Okay, so about 1 inch on there. And then you'll take your ending and feed it through the end like that. Okay, so once you've got that through there, you're gonna take the other end here and you're gonna make a loop so it's gonna hang on to your clasp. So you're gonna take that loop and then feed it back through the crimp tube. Now this is kind of the most important part here, is when you feed it through, you want it to go parallel and not cross the other string. And then you'll pull the long string so that it pulls your clasp tight. So you basically want the loop just to be big enough so that your clasp can kind of move freely. You don't want it to be so tight that it's stiff, but just barely. You don't want it to be too loose either. All right, then you're gonna take your pliers and you're gonna carefully smash the crimp tube flat with the 2 strings parallel to each other, okay? I usually just do 1 good pinch and then I go back over it and just kind of pinch it tight. All right, and then you'll have, so you have your string and then you have an extra little end that's hanging off there. So I always take a bead and string it through both pieces of wire. And then you're gonna just clip that extra piece of wire that's hanging, and you're able to start beading after you get that far. Okay, so again, it'll be easier to look at your sheet, but I just wanted to kind of show you how to do that. So then you guys can decide how you want your pattern to be, if you want to do every other color or, you know, a few beads and alternating colors. The gold-filled beads, these are just kind of accents. I can show you. I like to do them different. Like I'll do 1 after a few colors, and then I'll do 3 in a row. And then usually I like to have some surrounding the pendant there if you chose to do one of those. Anyways, you can decide what pattern you'd like to make this, but I wanted to show you how to measure this so it fits your wrist. If you bought a charm, you're gonna want to bead, and I just usually hold, I just start beading, and then once I get to a certain point where it seems like, so since this is a double wrap, you want to just do a small amount. Usually if you have kind of a normal wrist size, it's about, you know, 3 inches in to where, I'll show you. So once you start beading, you're gonna want to have your clasp be, or your charm, sorry, be on the first side of your wrap, since it's gonna be wrapping twice. So when I'm making this, I bead, about 2.5 to 3 inches, and then I kind of measure it. I lay it on my wrist and put the clasp in the middle back there and hold it and make sure that that's gonna be kind of centered on my wrist. So the way the whole thing will look is gonna look like your charm is closer to your clasp. It's not gonna be even. Okay, and then you're gonna just keep beading until you get to the point where you're able to wrap the bracelet and the beads can touch around your wrist tight. So the two ends should be tight on your wrist. If you get it to that point, then it should be perfect once you get your adjustable end on the other side. Okay, so just one more time to show you to make sure you get the right size. Once you've got it beaded, now when you're beading it, you want to make sure that you're holding the side that's not closed yet, or else you'll lose your beads. But you're going to wrap it around your wrist while holding the beads on there and touch them together tight. And then you know that that's long enough, but not too long now that you have that adjustable end on the other side. Okay, and then when you're closing off your bracelet, it's the same concept, only now you have your beads on there, so you have to do it while you've got some beads on here to close it off, so I'll show you. Okay, so again, I have a bead at the end there. This isn't a bracelet, I'm just gonna show you how to do the end. Then you're gonna take your crimp tube, you're gonna feed the crimp tube on your wire. This has a bunch of extra wire because I'm just showing you this. And then you're gonna take your chain ending, feed it through, and it's the same thing that we did earlier. So you're gonna make a loop around that link, go back through your crimp tube, and I go with this string through one bead just to kind of give it that extra security. Okay, and then you're gonna start to pull the loop tight, like this. Okay. Once you get your loop tight there, what you want to do is wrap the bracelet. So it should hold it pretty well, but it's not fully secured because we haven't crimped it. But you want to make sure with a wrap bracelet, you want to make sure that when you wrap it around your wrist, it's not super stiff. So the way that you can kind of adjust it is by pulling the loop that you've made on the open end a little bit if it's too tight, or pulling the string if you need to tighten it more. Okay, again, this will be on your sheet. Explain might be easier to understand, but I just wanted to kind of explain it here as well. Okay, once you've got it to the right tightness, then you're gonna take your pliers and you're gonna do the same thing and clasp it, pinch it, so that it's tight, it's got the strings, and it's all secure. Then you just want to take your wire cutters as close as you can get and clip the extra string as close as you can to the bead. Okay? If you guys have questions, feel free to DM me and I can try to help you from there. Thank you.